Welcome back to Cooking with Consult Colleen. You're in Colleen's kitchen. Today, what I'd like to do, because it's such a beautiful day out, in case you haven't been outside, I'm going to welcome fall with a little bit of apple crisp for one. So hopefully it won't take very long. It was pretty super simple when I made it the first time. I did practice for you. So I'm going to start out with a Granny Smith apple. It is really easy to peel. Granny Smith apples are very tart, which is kind of nice for this type of a dish. I'm using one of my favorite tools here, my Good Grips peeler, and it makes it really easy to peel an apple. So you can buy those apple peelers and all that stuff, but I decided I didn't feel like it. Plus, I didn't have anywhere to put it in my kitchen. My kitchen is, in fact, not very large. So I'm going to do it this way, and that worked out for me the first time. And this Good Grips is so good. Really makes it easy and comfortable to do the peeling. So I've now peeled my apple, my Granny Smith apple, and I'm just going to move it here. See, I'm not always prepared either. Hold on. It doesn't look fabulous when you have all that peel on here, but now I look a tad more professional, so excuse me for that. But I'm going to take my apple here. I'm going to put it in the middle of my board. I'm going to take one of my most favorite toys, and this, you know, the shape of an apple gave it away. This is going to core and slice my apple. So you want to get that down in there a little bit before you actually put pressure on it. But when you have it in there, ready, that's how easy it is. And I certainly didn't put a whole lot of effort in there. But now I am down to the core, which I will dispose of later. And this is nice and clean. And all I have here left are my slices of apple. Now, this is where I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to chop the apples. Not everybody likes apples chopped. Some people like to do slices of apple in a dish like this. And you know what? I say more power to you if that's what you like to do. I like my apples to be little bitty bites that I can chomp on easy. But if that's not what you like, then don't do it. You know, as I say, I am not a chef. I only play one on YouTube. So in the meanwhile, while we're getting this all ready to mix up, I'm going to tell you about today's spice highlight. And that would be, yeah, you guessed it, cinnamon. So what's so fabulous about cinnamon? Well, funny you should ask. I'm going to tell you what's so fabulous about cinnamon. Cinnamon does a lot of great things for the body. It's believed that cinnamon may prevent cancer. It may prevent your blood sugar from spiking. Studies have shown that perhaps it helps with your cholesterol. And it's also been shown to prevent food spoilage. So all of those things make cinnamon really good for you. Easy ways to sneak it in. Throw it on your apples. Throw it on yogurt. You can have it in tea. I put it on my cereal every morning, right on top of my bananas. So you can sneak some cinnamon into your world very simply. And all these new studies out there on cinnamon saying that good things are happening in your body with it. So why not, right? If you feel it, go for it. All right, I have now finished chopping my apples. I'm moving on to number 2. This is a little, did you see this? This is the cutest thing, am I right? It's the tiniest little whisker that I've ever seen. But that being what it may, I'm very excited. So I'm going to take some flour, cinnamon, and some brown sugar. And those are all my dry ingredients. So I'm going to take the cutest whisker ever, and I'm going to whisk this right here for you. And we're going to mix that all together, right? Now, I know I did not tell you what the percentages and the measurements and all that were. Well, if you want to know what those are, because I'd love to tell you what they are, I'm going to post those on my website on a recipe page. So feel free to go to consultcolleen.com and the recipe will be there. I also at some point will probably throw it out on some of my other pages. So if you're looking for some of these recipes or some other good ideas or a blog post or anything, just more info on what it is that Consult Colleen is all about, I encourage you to go to consultcolleen.com or any at consultcolleen.coms that you might find. YouTube is Cooking with Consult Colleen. But we do have Instagram and Facebook and our very own website where all our recipes are. So please visit there and I will have the list. I'm going to post it right after this. So I have, as I told you, I put together, I'm trying to get a little bit of sugar there to break up. There we go. So I have my dry ingredients. Now I'm going to add, is this the cutest thing again? A mini measurer. So for your liquids, you can put them in. It looks like a little shot glass, but look at it. It has all your measurements on this side, and then it has ounces on this side. But I will tell you here, I have 1 teaspoon. Is that the coolest thing? So cute. So that is lemon juice, by the way. Now I'm going to take the apples that I, not really diced, kind of just chopped a little bit, and I'm going to dump those, my Granny Smith apple that I did wash before I put it here, just so you're aware. And now I'm going to mix this all together. So what's going to happen is it's all going to mix all over the little apples, and the apples will take on the sugar and the apple juice from the apple, you know, the little bit of apple stuff that's on there will all mix in there together, and it will taste fabulous. Do you also know that if you pull these apart, the stuff that's stuck in the middle comes out? How cute is that? Again, I find these new things out every day. And I have to tell you how much fun they are. So all right, so I've done that, and there's my apples. My apples are ready to go. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take my apples, I'm going to put them to the side with all the stuff that I've already used that I probably don't need right now. My little glass thingies here. And I'm going to bring up some other stuff. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is my new bowl, because I'm going to do my dry ingredients for the topping, for the crumble, okay? I have, again, I want to mix up my dry ingredients first so they all mix well together, and then we're going to make the crumble. So I have some rolled oats here. I actually used Bob's Red Mill rolled oats, and I throw those in there. Some more brown sugar. I also have some more cinnamon, all that good stuff. It's going to help me out. And then a little bit of flour. All that together. And I'm going to go back to this, also another favorite of mine, the tiniest little spatula in the world. I love it. I didn't grab the other whisker. I do have another small one, but I just don't have it here. So we'll use this. You know, they all need to get used. All right. So in order to make my crumble now, I've mixed all this stuff together, and all the flavors are together. And what am I going to do? I'm going to take my butter. I'm going to dump my butter in here. And I'm going to take, I just bought this, I have to tell you. This here is the coolest thing I've bought in a long time. And it is actually for dough. But if you use it to break up your butter, you can do that. I'm going to have to poke it off here again. But you kind of mix it with your butter, and you mix it with all of your crumble, and it breaks it up, because what happens is you want it to be in little bitty pieces. You can also do this with 2 forks because you want it to all mix in there, but you also want the butter to be really, really small because you want it to crumble up and do all that stuff. So it's a little bit bigger than I had planned on, but I'm going to keep moving that stuff around and trying to get as much as I can of the butter and the brown mixture, which is just all your sugar and your cinnamon and all that stuff. So I have my little spatula, works well at getting the butter out of there. No easy way to do this. Forks, same thing. You're going to have to kind of poke the butter out a little bit. But, I mean, it's not not the end of the world. So now what we have is we have a little butter crumble here, and not too much butter. I used a tablespoon of butter, so you know you're not going to be too worried about, or at least I'm not going to be too worried about too much butter and all that. You need a little bit of butter to get it to kind of taste right, but this is going to be enough for, say, 2 people. One person could probably even eat it, but I probably I would split it with somebody. I might put a little ice cream on top. Again, consultcolleen.com. Go to that website. I have some information on what I found to be the healthiest ice cream. If you can call ice cream healthy, well, let's say the most natural ice cream, all right? It's mainly real ingredients, some cream and things like that, cream and milk and sugar, but very little preservatives in some of them, and in one of them, none. So good stuff there as well. All right, so we are actually going to take that out. We are ready to go here, and I am going to grab this down here. This is one of the bowls that I used. I use this for pre-measuring, but what I found was it fit my apples really well, and I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'm not going to put the glass right on the rack there. So what I did is, or what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put the pan underneath it so that it sits flat. And look at that, you can just move this. Get a little poke there with my finger. My hands are clean. And this stuff, the apples sit down pretty good, fits perfectly in here and you know, you can see this. There's no way I'm going to eat that many apples, even if they are covered in sugar, because there's just too many. So now I'm going to take the other bowl that has the crisp, if you will, and I'm just going to put it out, sprinkle it over the top of all of my apples, the little bit of a crumble there, and I'll spread it out so my apples are covered with the crumble topping. Then I'm going to bake it in the oven at 375 for about 30 minutes. And you have the most adorable bowl of apple crisp. I made one earlier. Yes, I did. And look at it right here. So this is the finished product. This came out of the oven 20 minutes, not even. And I could put ice cream over it. It's no longer hot, obviously, or I wouldn't be touching the bowl, right? That makes sense. So anyway, 20 to 30 minutes. I did go 30, I believe, because I wanted to make sure that the apples were soft. Now, can you put this in the microwave? That's a great question. You probably can, but it's not going to taste as crunchy on the top. So to each his own. I put mine in the oven. That's what I suggest. This is what it looks like going into the oven. This is what it looks like coming out of the oven. It smells great. It's easy. It's fast. It's whole food. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please log on to my website. You know, friend me on Facebook. Go on to my YouTube and just follow me. All right? And you'll get more of this great stuff because I think it's great. And I'll also give you some information on spices and utensils and things like that that I use that I think are easy for somebody who is not a cook, but plays one on YouTube. Thank you. Come again.